This is Company of Heroes history. Hello and welcome to another episode of Company of Heroes of History. This is likely to be the final episode. I'm sorry there's been a little bit of a break between the previous episode and this one, but I've got myself a new job, I've moved internationally, and I've been sat in quarantine and things for a couple of weeks, and obviously very busy with the new position, so it's likely that this will be the final kind of farewell episode of Company of Heroes History. I've been thinking ever since I started the series that this was the game I most wanted to rewatch, and the game today is between Golradaer in the south as the Allies, and in the north we have Nystrom playing as the Wehrmacht. So this is the game I most wanted to come back and revisit because it's kind of the game that sticks out most vividly in my mind. You know, of the games that I myself didn't play. This one being kind of memorable. There's a couple of kind of spots in there that I remember quite vividly. So I'm hoping that it will be an enjoyable game for you all now. I think this, if you were around in 2007 when this game was played, I wouldn't be surprised if you don't remember it too, as kind of a real classic matchup between two of the absolute titans, probably the two absolute titans of Vanilla Company of Heroes. So yeah, I wanted to kind of at least make sure I came back and saw this game before I kind of sign off for this series. I hope you'll enjoy it, and I hope it lives up to my memory of it. So we're starting off here where Golradaer and Nystrom have both been microing pretty nicely with their opening builder units, trying to kind of harass each other and keep this point in neutral. They have managed to do so, it seems like. The Volksgrenadiers getting over a little bit earlier seems to have been able to chase that away, but now the Riflemen coming over may be able to help out and keep that at least neutral, or maybe red. Oh, this looks like... Actually, he's moved up to the cutoff point with that. He's given up the option to cap that point and has allowed Nystrom to get the wire across this famous point over here. And yet, looks like he's opting to cover that more than the actual fuel point itself. On the left-hand side, the engineers were able to chase off Nystrom's pioneers, but now with the addition of this bike, it's gone very close and it's taking some damage now. It should be able to keep that point neutral, I would imagine, with a bit of micro. Tricky to micro the bike, of course, because it doesn't have that reverse gear that the Jeep has. But yeah, a little bit of micro, he's able to chase that off. On the right-hand side, Volk's doing the right thing, sitting in some cover here, although the Jeep coming across now. I'm not sure if pushing was a big deal at this point. Certainly we had started to become aware of the power of the Jeep push, but of course we weren't using it anything like to the extent that we're using it today. This is dangerous now. He might be able to take up that Pioneer squad, particularly if he brings across this Rifleman. He was trying to go across to the left, but if he brings it over to this side, he might be able to help take out and finish off that Pioneer. Looks like he is doing that. Good, there he goes. Good moves from Golradaer there to take that out. Oof, the bike is now in a little bit of trouble here as well. Right up close to all 5 models of that Rifleman squad, but we'll just sneak away. Good bit of work there. Jeep now pushing across. Looks like the Jeep wants to try and take on this bike. The bike, of course, does a little bit more damage, particularly at short range than the Jeep, but the Jeep has that extra maneuverability. I think the Jeep has also seen this MG pushing over and has decided it's not a fight it wants to take. Very little of the map has yet been captured, actually, looking at this now. We see that Nystrom does have both of the high fuel points under his... Well, he's capped them both, but he doesn't have them under control because neither are connected to his base. In fact, neither of them have any of their high munitions points connected, although that looks like it's about to change over here in Golradaer's favour. Oof, this Volksgrenadier's got itself in a right pickle here. 2 Rifleman squads and a Jeep all firing on it. And there's no kind of imminent support here. I've just realised I don't have a keyboard, so can't actually get the tac map up very easily to check those things. But it looks like it will get away just about. Ooh, now this Jeep has again put itself in a little bit of trouble here. Oh, beautiful move there by Nystrom, blocking the Jeep's retreat there, running around the back. Oh, and a quick damaged engine there. Must be about 40% health left on this thing when it got damaged engine. Very unfortunate indeed. But it might get away. It looks like it doesn't have a great deal of health, but and with both of these squads here firing on it, oh, should be able to take it out. But of course, he's got to be also careful with his own units. It's always in these situations where the thing went from 100% health to 30% in no time at all, but that last little bit takes a little while longer, but he does get that final killing blow. Nice early start there from Nystrom. He's got to get out of there with the squad quickly before... He'll sneak out of there, but if he got out of there a little bit quicker, that could have been a really clean moment there where he was able to kill off that Jeep without even losing many models of his own. As it is, he loses one model and a lot of health, so not ideal. Oh, on the left-hand side here now, this very, very weak engineer squad is trying to cap this underneath the MG. The MG repositions, trying to get its main gun firing on these NGs. Let's see, they will sneak away, it seems. A little bit of consolidation of positions now, with Nystrom on the left and Golradaer on the right-hand side, although Golradaer is now pushing across onto the left, using this one squad to kind of harass and reposition the MG. Meanwhile, the other rifleman squad is able to decap the strategic point and stop the income for Nystrom. Nice little move there by Golradaer. Gets out of there without losing too much manpower, although he's lost a lot of health, of course. And now he has a couple of squads that can sort of delay at the strategic point, keep it disconnected for at least a couple of minutes, which is a nice move. Particularly when, meanwhile, on the right, he's using his weakened engineer squads to kind of cap the other points and really get himself a decent level of income. Looks like we have some teching here from Nystrom doing. It should be about the time we start to see some tech, I would think. He's gone for the 4.5 unit, I guess, tier 1, which is slightly delayed, slightly lengthened, but certainly strong. Meanwhile, Golradaer on the other side, let's have a quick look, see what he's up to. Golradaer has gone for he went for the standard 4 unit tier 1. Oh, looks like a 5th one has just come out now. Oh, and he actually also built the Jeep, so he's gone for a slightly extended tier 1 then by the looks of things. But we also do see some tech. We have the weakest engineer squad in the world building the supplier. That's going to take a long time if you're going to look like that. Oh, and he's just about giving away that house. This could be trouble now. We saw Golradaer before was able to kind of cause some trouble on the strategic point of Nystrom, but he wasn't able to hold it. Those hay bales are not quite so defensively powerful as getting in this house here, which of course is easily flanked, but when you don't have grenades or any tech at all out of the allies, it's very difficult to force that away. On the left-hand side now, we see one Volkswagen squad. He's trying to protect this. Oh, there's a second Volkswagen here as well, but he's trying to get at this medic bunker. Presumably he'll go for a med bunker. That's very far forward, relatively aggressive. Does a great job of holding down the middle of the map there, but is also relatively easy to take out because a mortar or something parked even way in the back here. But the allies will be able to take that down if he chooses to go for USC. And we do see another MG as well, so it looks like Nystrom has further extended his tier 1, getting himself a second MG on the field. Meanwhile, oh, Golradaer, oh, it's not good. It looks like he wanted to get in there and take out the Pioneer. Of course, if you focus fire the bunker before it is completed, it goes on very quickly indeed, so he might have been better suited sitting in some green cover and taking that out from a distance. Looks like he's trying to stall for time. He has now reinforced this engineer, so he's going to get the motor pool, and presumably he'll go for the quad. It was hard to know, but Golradaer, of course, was a big fan of the quad half-track, so I would be very surprised if it isn't that. That engineer is very lucky to get away from there. This is now complete. It's just said, I heard something saying that the improvements to our HQ are finished. Whether that was an upgrade here, perhaps, or whether that was an upgrade at the HQ. Can't imagine that he'll have gone for the demolitions charges upgrade. It must be the wire cutters or something in the barracks, I would think. And now Golradaer trying to push back out on the left. This extended tier 1 from Nystrom has really served him in good stead because he's been able to get a lot of map control that is kind of unusual, but given he still doesn't have a Krieg barracks or anything on the field, I'm not sure if he's already in tier 2. He should be, or he's been extremely greedy. This half-track, when he could finally get it out, although look, he's so low on fuel, he's had so little income, he isn't able to even queue that up yet. So there's a good position for Nystrom to be in for sure. He hasn't managed to recap these points on the right side. He looks like he's prioritizing the munitions by the looks of things, which makes me think, indeed, tier 2. So he's kind of more reliant on the munitions income for Panzerschrecks and other things. Here we see an example of the fandom that emerged around Golradaer at this time. Fandom I was very much on board with. He's one of the strongest people. So yeah, I mean, going back, while there's a little bit of a lull here, looks like we do see a slight push, but I can't see too much getting done here without the the quad or the M8 to back it up. These two really were... Oh my goodness, I can't believe that right down there. Probably a bit of an oversight there from Nystrom, not recognizing in the middle of this engagement that the motorcycle was being focus fired. But yeah, these two really were at the top of their game. This time I think Golradaer was probably basically the top of the ladder as allies, and probably had been for months at this stage, around May 2007 this is. Finally do see the quad. But Nystrom, of course, was a bit of a killer with both factions. Started out, in my memory at least, stronger as allies, and then kind of moved to be a strong Axis player a little bit later on in the vanilla Company of Heroes' lifespan. But we see here that he was very powerful indeed with the Axis by this point in May. This, again, I think a lot of the top players, I'll try and find some quotations on the forums from them, but a lot of people said basically this was the best game of vanilla Company of Heroes that was ever played. Look at this 3-man engine squad. Nice reaction there from Golradaer to sneak it away. Could have been big trouble. The quad half-track is now on the field, nearly upgraded. So it's about time that he'll be able to push back out onto the field, and the response from Nystrom is this delayed pack gun, but he does have a pack gun. Not quite on the front line yet, but on the field, so he should be able to position this. Oh, the quad. Being quite aggressive there. Oh, look at it pushing around this wreck. Normally they get crushed, but that's just getting like, pushed around kind of like a hockey puck. Very interesting. That MG is going to have to get out of there. Of course, if you get out of this house, you have to run back across this road or retreat along the road. So you want to get out of there kind of earlier than you would in a normal circumstance. He's going to try and get back over there. The pack gun does come forward, sets up. Oh, nice little bait hit by the looks of things. One hit. Second hit should take it out. Oh, kind of a misfire. He just about managed to get out of the way and then block the MG. Might be able to take it out on retreat. We see a Grand Squad coming forward. I wonder if they are upgrading. I certainly hope so. If they've got the Panzertruck coming out, they should be able to take this down. If it was a Volk squad, might be able to take this out. I mean, Golradaer's quads, as we all know, are absolute monsters, so we need to take this out quickly. Unfortunately, this Grand Squad gets suppressed, so isn't quite able to get the shot off. This is one of those situations where you have to kind of roll the dice as the Axis. You've got to decide whether you want to move up your pack gun, try and use that surprise shot because of the cloaking, and try and take out the vehicle, or just feel satisfied that you've zoned it out for a little while and reduced its impact on your forces, and kind of be satisfied with that. But it's always so tempting when it's down to so little health to try and get the killing blow. As it is, I don't think he's going to be able to get through this kind of screen of 3 riflemen here, which aren't yet upgraded with bars or anything, but still, pack a punch. So yeah, it looks like the quad will survive at least in the short or medium term. Excuse me, just getting a little drink there. So yeah, we're in a situation now where it looks like he's put another... Oh, it's a Golradaer squad in here, so he is still keeping this cutoff point under his control. Golradaer still not with a very satisfying income at all. So Nystrom will be he's got to be feeling relatively confident, but he hasn't yet got any veterancy or anything like that. Of course, the Wehrmacht at this stage and just as much today can play for the long game because they have access to that veterancy. There's no need for him to be pushing in with this. Oh, this squad's got to be so careful with 2 rifleman squads here. He's going to retreat across the road. I don't like that. Oh, he looks like he'll be okay. Nystrom moving away. But retreating along this road, you get that extra damage, extra received accuracy, I believe is how it works. So you can really go down quickly if you're not too careful. Quad now back up to full health. The Packard's a little bit out of position. Looks like he's trying to prevent the... nice move here from Golradaer to take out this medic of Nystrom. Yep, prevent these sort of zombie Grenadier squads taking over too much. Another shot from the pack gun, although Golradaer is able to retreat again. Nice movement there, because the pack gun, of course, with just 2 shots will absolutely demolish the M3 half track unless there's a great deal of luck. Oh, I think I heard. Yeah, here we go. So a weapon support center coming out. That's a good option. I think that's a good option. He's not going to be worried too soon about any heavy tanks or anything coming out. So he kind of just has to bridge the gap to his Pershing. Getting out something like I mean, today, of course, we would get a sniper, but maybe even a mortar at this stage. given that we know that this is here. Either I think is a good option. Let's see what he's going for. He's going for the sniper. Okay, I think that's a good option. Just basically try and bleed the Axis manpower as much as you can. Meanwhile, trying to keep your own manpower intact. It's kind of the name of the game at this stage for the Allies. He knows he's not going to be able to push for a while until he's got some rifleman upgrades and something like that. So to kind of fill the gap, I think weapon support center is a pretty good option. Riflemen are holding their own though. You still can't see how many kills each squad has got, but they're doing well. A little bit of veterancy coming in now. Starting to go in. Oh dear, you got to be careful here. Two very low health Grenadier squads. This is the trouble with so much anti-tank upgrades for Nystrom. He's gone for. Let me switch to the side quickly. We might lose a Volk squad here as well if he's not careful. It does manage to retreat that, I think. So yeah, switching over to Nystrom quickly. You can see that he's got. I thought I saw a second pack gun. Did he just lose that? I could have sworn I saw a second pack gun somewhere in the field over here. Ah, it must have been the half track. So he's going for a pack gun, but he's also got two Panzerschrecks. One Panzerschreck on each of these Grenadier squads by the looks of things. And that really hurts your anti-infantry power against the riflemen. Makes it go from being a relatively even fight to being a pretty clear loss for the Axis, particularly after the Axis ability to snipe infantry with their Panzerschrecks was reduced in some of the recent patches. Still though, I mean, he's done such a wonderful job here. He's getting another Panzerschreck. It seems like a lot. But there we go. Oh, he's got to get out of there too. Oh dear. Where do you see the sniper? See, it looks like an engineer squad will go down there. This squad will just about sneak away. Sniper is somewhere on the field. Might have to sneak back over to the. Oh, here it is. It's still in the base. I might sneak back over to Golradaer's side to make sure we can keep on top of what this sniper's up to. Can I hotkey this? Ready. You can. Excellent. Yes. So, awkward position here. Golradaer's not in a situation where he can easily push. Oh, now this quad is very much in trouble again. Ah, it doesn't manage to kill. Just sneaked around the corner of the house there. And this is an awkward situation for the Axis, where you've got to kind of make the decision whether you want to move forward and push in and try and take that out, or whether you're happy killing things like this. That rifleman squad's got to be very careful. And now him, which will be taking extra damage, and this is careful indeed. Do we see a flank? We do see a nice little flank here by the Flamers. The half-track is it able to take out both of these squads? Gets the block off. Grenadier squad in support as well. Oh, looks like the focus firing isn't quite there to try and take out these low health squads, so they will both get. Wait, that could have been very difficult indeed. Although this full health squad was reduced by 4 models there. Nice move. Didn't decide to move up the pack gun there, Nystrom. So this quad half track has been doing a lot of damage in the meantime. Might have been a nice move to try and use this opportunity when he knows exactly where this is to try and move up that pack gun and get the killing blow. As it is, he's moving up the half track instead of flamer half track and getting some work done on these riflemen squad. The sniper's already down to half health. I'm not exactly sure how that happened. There must have been one of the squads on there. He's moving it very aggressively. He's got to be careful with these Volksgrenadiers right here. They take a shot. Now the Volksgrenadiers, if they focus fire. Oh, there's no focus fire here. Instead, they might even go down. The half track's pushing in aggressively on the sniper, but it might be too late. The sniper now moving around. Won't be able to get the killing blow on the Volks, but will take out a medic and should be able to sneak back away through here again. Oh my goodness, almost. You can be so careful with snipers and flames. If they just get one of those little kind of bits of flame that kind of touches them, they can burn up very quickly indeed. Ugh. Does get behind the hedge pretty quickly, but that slowish recloak makes me panic. Was that a deflection off a Panzerschreck? A little odd. Oops, something just went down over here by the looks of things. Nope.
Victory
somewhere.
Point under siege. The Germans are
I heard
moving in.
our forces are taking casualties. I'm sorry I didn't quite see that. Let's move back to see what this sniper's doing here. Oh, it looks like a squad was lost in this house. And 2 bar rifles went down as a result. That's a big swing there for Nystrom if he's able to pick those up and really improve the power on his Grenadier squads and help them go toe-to-toe with the rifle. This sniper is being so aggressive. Oh, just take out a man on this pack squad. If he's able, it's the second pack gun, it looks like. Yeah, we do now see a second pack gun from Nystrom. So he's clearly trying to begin that preparation. That's a killer squad now. It's got 2 bars and a Panzerschreck. Interesting. Yeah, he's got to be careful. Look at this huge blob of red. Yeah, he's got to be ready. He's got to kind of make that balance of preparing himself for the Pershing, which will inevitably be here before. He must have got Terror. Yeah, Terror. Before his Tiger Race comes out. So he's really got to make sure he's prepared enough for that. By getting enough AT on the field without falling foul of this slowly increasing anti-infantry power of these rifles. Oh, this squad! No, not the squad of champions! It does get away. I thought for a second there we were going to lose that squad that's newly upgraded. It's got 3 upgrades on it. That would have been a real shame. But it will sneak away. Looks like the M3 half-track also sneaked away yet again, having taken a shot from the pack gun. Lovely work from Golradaer to keep that alive and kicking and causing trouble. Would have been nicer to see a little bit more usage of these. He's got 3 units on the left hand side, 4 if you include the pack gun. If you're going to go for a big engagement, I would like to see that you keep that engaged as well. The sniper's now in a bit of trouble here. There's so many riflemen supporting it, should be fine. He's going to have to... he's going to have to get away from there now. He's going to have to get away! Because you don't want to be giving these veterancy riflemen a Panzerschreck. We'll sneak away by the... No, it won't sneak away! I mean, it's just such a needless fight. Running with a upgraded Grenadier squad, running into 2 riflemen and a sniper is just such a... You're onto hiding to nothing there, to be honest. Let's go back to Golradaer's side so we can see what he's doing with his sniper. Here he is. Sniper's still alive. Don't know how many kills it's got, but Vet 1. Soon it'll be Vet 2, and it'll get that speed boost that the allied sniper got, I believe, at Vet 2? Actually, in retrospect, it might be Vet 3. It gets that speed boost where it moves as quickly as if it were uncloaked while cloaked, which is... Suddenly it just becomes a basically unkillable unit. Even more unkillable than it is normally. I think Golradaer's come back into this now, to be honest. Look, he's got 3 veteran rifle squads. He's got everything he needs, and particularly while he's waiting for this Pershing, which is very soon to be here. I think just a couple more minutes. This sniper can just cause absolute havoc. He's now got a Panzerschreck under his control. He's got more control over the right hand side than he's had for the entire game, I think. And he's another Grenadier squad goes down, and a pack gun's been decrewed. I think Nystrom's kind of just got to get out of here at this point. Another. Okay, so in the space of 2 minutes, I think Nystrom has lost a pack gun, 3 Grenadier squads, including 2 Panzerschrecks. And a BAR. Or 3 Panzerschrecks and a BAR, is it? 1, 2 Panzerschrecks, 3 Panzerschrecks and a BAR. So, oh, we do hear a firestorm coming in. It's coming in here. Big retreat on the infantry. The AT gun again moves very quickly indeed. That's a nice reaction there from Golradaer to minimize the damage from that firestorm. Again with that old sound, which is just so good. I really love that, the original sound for the firestorm. And now the Pershing hits the field. So Nystrom's got himself in a real pickle here. He does have 2 pack guns, so he's going to be able to zone out this Pershing unless it's extremely aggressive. Tries to get behind them. Actually, we do have a lot of munitions saved up for crew repairs. So this Pershing is basically safe, I would say. I think Nystrom has got himself in a real pickle here. It's going to be interesting to see how he decides to get back into this. Whether he too is going to stall for the try and stall for the heavy tank that he should be pretty close to now. I think given the amount of rifling that have come down in this game. Okay, he's repositioned this 1 pack gun to try and get some shots off on the Pershing and zone it out. Looks like it has got a couple of shots off. A little deflection there. 2nd pack gun moving up on the road to try and force it away. He's got to get this MG squad out of it. Oh, sniper just went down somewhere. Was it here? Was it trying to just move? Where did they go down? On the side? I'm very sorry I missed where that went down. That's a big oversight on my part. But yep, we do see the MG bunker goes down. No, well, the med bunker goes down with the MG inside. So that's another unit lost, essentially. Nystrom's just kind of throwing away manpower at this point, needlessly. Keeping this MG in the fight here. It's a fight it cannot win. Trying to do some damage with these pack guns pushing forward. They do a nice job. Go pushing forward and trying to get zone out, but pushing even more. We've got to get the MG out of this house before it goes down. We've seen like 6 or 7 units go down in the space of about 5-10 minutes here. Like 7 minutes definitely. We've seen all those squads go down. He's also trying to push up with the pack gun right in the face of these 3 rifling squads who are now no longer supported by an MG. You can't be throwing away so many units, Nystrom. You of all people know this. Oh, that is another shocker. So that's now 2. Is the pack gun still there? Yeah, 2 pack guns as long as sniffing in the corner. There's 2 pack guns gone down, as well as the 3 or 4 Grenadier squads, as well as the huge shot from the Pershing there. And he's gonna have to retreat this squad through the rifleman. There's no way that gets away as well. Another squad goes, another Panzerschreck. If Nystrom is able to win this game, it will be one of the most ridiculous miracles I've ever seen. I mean, he does have some advantages. Gets a main gun destroyed on the Pershing, but isn't able to take it out. And there we see the field repair coming down to get that backup fighting fit relatively quickly. Yeah, Nystrom's just given up so much manpower in this game. So much manpower and munitions in the form of those Panzerschrecks. This force that we see from Golradaer should be basically all he needs until the end of the game. You know, an engineer or 2, 4 veterancy rifleman squads. I think 3 of them have a Panzerschreck on them, and it could be 4 if he's able to pick that up as well. An AT gun, Pershing, and a quad half-track. I mean, what more could you need to take on basically anything the Allies can throw at you? If you still had that sniper on the field, it would be obviously even more perfect, but he's in a good spot here. If I were him, I'd be trying to do a little bit more to cap this right side of the map, reduce the pop cap available to the Axis, and also reduce their income, of course, of key resources. Looks like he's kind of stalled out a little bit here, and taking a minute to get repaired and move things up. We do see now the Tiger Race out for Nystrom. Big moment here. If it's not, Tiger Race is able to sort of return the favor, killing a couple of squads. It could be the way back into the game, but I think he's going to be relatively defensive because this is all that's going to keep this Pershing now from pushing his base, because a single pack gun is not enough to stop a Pershing, particularly with all the support. But now look at this. We have 2 pack guns and a 57mm AT gun as well, so that's plenty of AT. It was in addition to all of these fully shreked up rifleman squads. I mean, this is all the Allies could ever need. And it looks like Golradaer is going for, rather than trying to push for the cutoff, which I think might have been maybe a slightly more difficult push through this small gap, but perhaps more effective, because if you can get this, you reduce the pop cap of the Axis, you stop them getting anything more on the field once they've got this much there, and you cut off that resource income. At this stage, I think that pushing through with the Tiger Race, that's got to be hugely dangerous. I think I heard the AT armor piercing rounds pulled that. Oof. Look at that, just a couple of shots gets the Tiger Race down to about 2/3 of its health. Oof, a little deflection there, maybe it wasn't an armor piercing round. Could be my mistake. We do see he's now capped this point even here. What we might see is like him try and use some tank traps or something to cover this off, which is always one of my favourite moves. It's not going to stop a Tiger Race, but it was always an exciting thing to see. Yeah, reached this bit of a stalemate here. Golradaer certainly has the advantage, and I might have liked to see him push forward a little bit more here, try and press the advantage. Having said that, of course, Nystrom is one of the more methodical and kind of deliberate players that we ever saw in Company of Heroes 1. Extremely tactically sound. So, yeah, I'm sure he has good reasons not to be pushing too aggressively here. Of course, he doesn't have to worry about a second Tiger Race or anything, so he may be waiting for that second Pershing to kind of be the final piece of the jigsaw of his forces, and try and maybe give him the extra power he needs to start pushing the base. Actually, we do see the pack guns on it. We may see a slow base push. Interesting. We see perfectly even VPs for a second there. Interesting, after 30 minutes we are into this game, to think that they would be perfectly even VPs is very interesting indeed. Quarters does go down, so this might be unlikely that he was going to be trying to build anything from that anytime soon, but of course losing the ability to make a sniper or something can hurt you a lot. And of course those MGs in late game are so important when trying to cover victory points or anything like that. We do actually see that. Oh, I thought he was going for tank traps. He's actually going for mines, which is probably a better move. Kind of preparing just in case he does have to try and take out a second Tiger Ace at some point. He's pushing nicely moved, nicely microed there. Went in, forced Nystrom to go back to his base. It's a shame he hasn't followed this up with a big infantry push on here to try and take out that strategic point, which I think would have been possible. Bit of a shame we didn't see that simultaneously, because look at all this infantry sitting around doing nothing here. Instead, it looks like he's going to try and push forward with just the out of control, even though it still had some health left. That was a little weird. Must have been because it was being repaired at the same time. Another pack gun comes out here. Oh, this is kind of a spot where Nystrom, he's got to be worried about this. I mean, he's trying to push out on this left-hand side and doing a decent job, although the pack gun and things over there are going to be able to push that away. Nystrom's got to be scared, I think, at this point, because the slow push, the MG bunker has now gone down. If Golradaer, decides to push in with all of his pack guns and his riflemen, with all those Panzerschrecks, he can be able to push in. But this could be a huge turn. Firestorm now coming in from... Oh, it seems to come down really quick. Takes out the engineers, takes out both pack guns. Will it take out the Pershing too? Pershing sneaks away at the very last second, but that might be just the sort of turn he needed. Golradaer finally goes for that big push on the left-hand side that I was begging for, and it's been very successful. He's been able to cut it off, but this might just be the lifeline that he needed. A huge shot on those riflemen from the Tiger Ace. Pack gun now moving up. He's going to be able to reclaim these two pack guns that will help him so much against those two. The double vet rifle squad does drop the Panzerschreck, but is able to escape with its life, which I think we'll be very relieved about. Double veterancy squads are just so valuable with the extra damage. Pershing now being forced away. Going to get these... Hopefully we're going to get both of these pack guns back online. It's kind of a huge manpower swing now. If we switch back over to Nystrom, we can see that by the time he gets that third pack gun back under his control, he's going to be in a situation where he's relatively even manpower for manpower, I think, to the Allied squad. Big swing there. He's also got the Pershings down to very low health. Looks like he wants to kind of push it very aggressively and try and take this out. Of course, the 900 manpower is... it's very tempting to chase that down, and you don't want to get in a situation where you lose your Tiger Ace, but putting a little bit of pressure on the base is not necessarily a bad idea at this stage. Got to be careful not to get stickied. Is he able to take out another huge shot from misfire there from the Tiger Ace? Bit of a disappointment. If he'd be able to get a huge shot off and take out that 2 squad, that could have made all the difference. At this stage, looks like the Pershing has got away, although it's still very low health. And the other Pershing... Ooh, one pack. Looks like the pack on the left was reclaimed by Golradaer, so there's going to be 4 packs online for the Axe. It's just the 3 if he takes us back inside. Tiger Ace now moving back slowly to the base. Ooh, this Pershing's trying to move in with a bit of field repair. Oh, looks like Golradaer is very keen, by the looks of things, to get the base. Oh, he loses it! Didn't manage to click Allied War Machine. Perhaps he didn't have the CPs just yet. Doesn't get Allied War Machine in, so that's a lost Pershing there. The Panzerschrecks doing their business for the... you know, very rare that they do the business, but in this case they did. The Tiger Ace is now there, being safely repaired. A couple of pack guns pushing in from the right-hand side. He's managed to cut off the entire base from the Allies somehow. I didn't see what sneaked around here to get this side cut off, but perhaps it's always been the case. A second Pershing now pushing into the base. He's got to be so careful with all these pack guns around. Let's have access to crew repairs, I'm sure. We had so much veterans. Don't lose. Oh, he's gone for Allied War Machine. Okay. I thought for a second he was going to throw that away. Is Nystrom going to be able to micro to prevent his units all shooting this? They don't, so it is repaid. But it does keep them out of his base for the time being. Pretty decent trade there. I think getting 1 Pershing back for an Allied War Machine is a decent trade, but it's not kind of that killer trade like if you were to get a couple of tanks back at once. 250 munitions, of course, is pretty expensive. for that. Actually, let's check. Is it 250 at this stage? Yeah, 250 munitions. So like a single tank is a pretty good deal, but it's not the sort of killer thing that you would see that was super broken like we saw in earlier patches. But then does have the opportunity now to come in at good timing. Might be able to push off this Tiger Ace again, but there's still pack guns in support. This pack gun is completely out of position. Unfortunately, isn't getting any shots off on this Pershing. A little bit of an oversight there. So somehow this quad half-track is still out on the field. So this squad pushing forward. It's got to be so careful with the veterancy. He does not want to lose that. Does retreat in time. This pack gun now moving around the back of the Pershing. Pershing trying to take out this squad of Shreks. Oh, it's got himself in a real pickle here with this rear armor. Getting shot down by the Pershing. He's going to be able to get out of there, I think. And we do see some engineers pushing up to keep it under control. This match has gone from being a relatively calm, kind of a relatively measured match with some pretty conservative strategic moves on the whole by both players, to suddenly being absolutely all over the place. We see engineers versus pack gun over here. The pack gun is clearly going to lose that battle as soon as it's lost its. The guy with the he's not really doing a great deal of damage here. We see more attempts to push the left-hand side, push into the base by Nystrom, by Golradaer, excuse me. Meanwhile, Nystrom is just recapping that right-hand side slowly but surely with just a single squad, getting that back on the line. Victory points slightly, delicately in favour of, I believe they're in favour of Nystrom at this stage, although of course it bugs out. Yeah, delicately in favour of Nystrom. Yeah, at this moment, but Golradaer is slowly being ticked down there. Another Pershing here, so one at half health, one at full health. A couple of pack guns here to help out in this battle against the Pershing. This is really getting kind of hectic and very, very interesting here. Oh, a huge Panzerschreck shot there. That means another Panzerschreck goes down onto the floor. So those early losses are now being repaid in kind by Nystrom. We're getting this Panzerschrecks back under his control. Ooh, that was a huge couple of shots there from the Pershing. As soon as the Pershing penetrates, it does so much damage. This really is a cool tank to see in action. Of course, it's got that very strong frontal armor. This the Tiger Ace is kind of moving around too much. What are you doing? It's starting to run out of there, even though it has far more than half health. That Pershing could have gone down at any second. Is he desperately trying to take out the quad? Is that his priority at this point? Maybe. Oh, now he's pushing into all this infantry. That seems to be a big missed opportunity there by Nystrom. Could have taken out that Pershing and got out of there relatively easily. Sticky now goes off. It's going to leave that Tiger Ace a little bit less mobile, a little bit less effective on the field for the next little while. Somehow that quad half-track is still alive. It's been absolutely the thorn in Nystrom's side for this entire match. It was the thorn in the side of most of the ladder for the first year or so of Company of Heroes was out. Now it might move into the arc of fire of this pack gun, which misses. Of course it misses, because that unkillable quad was called the unkillable quad for a reason. Another sticky bomb goes off. It's going to further diminish the effectiveness of that Tiger until it can get healed up. So many squads like kind of draped across the field at random at this point by the looks of things. Slowly but surely pushing back out on the left-hand side. You're seeing a double Shrek squad here. You might be able to take out that actually, but you don't want to move in here. Oh, now you've got to retreat. You've got to retreat. You've got to retreat. Ah. Okay, you just managed to get away there. Finally, another pack gun moving down this middle road. Isn't able to get the shot off on this quad that would take it out. Another pack gun moving up on the right-hand side. Kind of a pincer movement, trying to keep these things zoned out in the middle of the map. You know, it was a relatively quiet match for a while there in the middle, but it's really heated up right quickly. Nystrom trying to get this right-hand side back on and into his control. Another pack gun taken out by this double vet rifleman squad. We see a lot of very low health and low number squads here. Gonna have to get them retreated back and healed up. I think sharpish going to be effective in any of the future engagements. Actually, seems to have slowed this down quite nicely, you know. he got himself in the position where he knew exactly how little health the enemy units had and knows exactly where they are. So he's been able to kind of push around this right-hand side, get this back under control. And hopefully heal up a little bit. It looks like he has rebuilt his Wehrmacht quarters. Got that back a little bit more advanced. You see the great hedgerow massacre of 1945 going on here. Deciding to push back in now. There is a pack gun out of position though, so if you're coming able to not too much there. Look at that shot. When the Tiger Ace hits, it really hits. He's able to penetrate that frontal armor. He's moving it again though, so he's slow down the hit shots there a little bit. A couple of deflections, doing their full damage. But it's like one pushing. It's one pushing. This is so much more in favour of the allies. 3 rifleman squads again, maybe thinking to push forward and get these discarded pack guns and 57 is back under his control, and kind of restart this slow base push, which at this stage could be very effective. I think he's got quite a bit of firepower over that side if he's able to support it with the quad half track and get them healed up. Looks like a good option. Oh, a huge shot on those repairing units there. Again, we see the Pershing both getting down to relatively low health. He has got enough munitions in the bank for an allied war machine, so he's able to sort of dictate that battle in a way, and at the same time he's pushing in with both of these anti-tank guns that he's recruited. He's pushing in, he's going to try and take out the base. This Wehrmacht quarters will go down extremely quickly with two things under fire. This squad is able to take out that pack gun, but now we'll go down on their own for their trouble. Both of these squads survived. The veteran C3 M3 half track. It should be called the V3 half track at this point. You know how frequently we saw it get triple vet in these days, and now just the HQ remains. The Tiger Ace now coming in. It's got relatively high health. We now see the crew repairs being used on these 2 Pershings. Might be able to take out this Tiger Ace before the base goes down. This is a moment now. This is a killer moment. 2 Pershings now up to a decent amount of health, pushing in, trying to get out this, take out this Tiger Ace. Not a great deal of health there. Another unit goes down for the Axis. It looks like there's one Pershing might be taken out, but it looks like it could equally sneak away. This pack gun's not helping. We do see the that goes down. Is he going to be able to bring in? He does bring in the Tiger Ace, but those mines placed earlier in the match are going to stop it getting over there too quickly. This is so much going down. Looks like Golradaer has really committed at this point to the base race. He's going to try and take out that base first and foremost, making that his main priority. We do see the half track has gone down. Finally, well, this rifleman might also go down. Here comes a huge Calliope barrage. Doesn't take out too much health on the HQ. A lot of those shots are missing, but the HQ is down very low. Indeed, still 1 Pershing. Still 2 Pershings are able to continue pushing the base here. Looks like Nystrom, for some reason, is prioritizing taking out the Calliope. Nice job there. Does manage to take it out. We do see 1 Pioneer squad trying to keep this HQ back up on its feet. Golradaer has thrown away basically all of his units here. We saw how much he had just a few minutes ago. He's thrown away basically everything he has in a desperate attempt to try and take out this HQ and finish the match off that way. At this point, it looks like he hasn't got a collector on the field. Do you see another Calliope? Now, Calliopes, if he does what I think he should have done the first time, if you drive them right up close and then you use the reticle and you aim it somewhere further away, you can make sure that every single rocket hits that HQ, and it can take out a great deal of health of the HQ very quickly indeed. If he'd done that with the first Calliope when he certainly had the space and time to do so, he might have been able to take it out. And as it is, he's got a second one, it's going to rush in. Is he going to try and do that? I think at this point it's got enough health to survive anyway, but he might be able to follow it up by whipping these very fast-moving Pershings around the edge of the map to take it out, although he's now being chased back up the field. A huge shot from the Tiger Ace takes out that double vet Pershing, which loses that veterancy and is not repaid. Oh, looks like we did see the Calliope barrage, but he didn't choose to go in really close and make sure to take it out, to get the most out of those rockets. So, in a situation now where we have a very heavily weakened Tiger Race running around the map with very little puffer infantry against a very weakened Pershing with very little infantry support. And a Calliope that's got to be careful not to go down. Let's switch over to Nystrom quickly and see what he has in the bank. Actually, Nystrom has a little bit more in the field than I thought. I think it's because he's recrewed one of these pack guns. He's got himself a couple of Grenadier squads and one Volk squad, so he has a decent amount of infantry on the field. And his Tiger Race will shortly, I think, be back up to full health and be fighting fit with that repaired engine. So I think at this stage, Nystrom has definitely got the best out of that engagement there around the HQ. It was pretty even before, with both squads both teams, using all of their firepower to try and take out the HQ and end this game once and for all. But it looks like unable to take that out and get the finishing blow, Golradaer may have just found himself falling behind slightly. Now we do see that he has a lot of, still has 200 victory points in the bank. Nystrom doing the right thing here and trying to put a little bit of VP pressure on to the allies, knowing that he has a slight advantage and trying to, try and use this time to remove that sort of late game power of the allies. Of course, if you fall behind, you kind of want to make sure you have enough time to come back. So this is a good option by Nystrom to try and keep the VP pressure on the allies as much as possible. Nystrom is sitting on an enormous amount of fuel here. I don't know if now's the time, given everything he's lost, to be trying to push out any veterancy, but of course it does help in the games that are going long like this. Imagine if he'd had the veterancy earlier in the game to help out his Grenadiers. It would really make all the difference. Look at a huge shot there from the Tiger Race. His Tiger Race has been MVP bringing him back into the game here. You've seen it several times. It's taken out 3-4 models with a single shot. Did take out the Pershing there as well. Here comes the Calliope barrels into this Grenadier squad. He's going to have to sneak it away from there. Calliope barrels are such a crapshoot to see whether the units will get away or not. That sneaks away just with his life. Very, very close indeed. I'm interested to see, does he try and salvage some of these? Looks like he's going to try and salvage that. He's pretty close to getting himself another Firestorm. And this, of course, was the upgraded quad hard track, so there's plenty of munitions in there. Tiger Race now pushing into the base. Looks like he wants to take out those engineers and slow down the repairs of the Pershing. But the Pershing's pretty much back up to full health, pretty much back up and running. In the meantime, this left, look at this squad here. Oh, dear me. Seeing that makes me want to weep. Seeing it like far less than for half health. And still having all of the members in the team. Now, Golradaer has done the risky thing, I think, in some ways, in saving up for a second Pershing. Of course, this manpower income will have been much higher than usual when he had so few units on the field. But that is kind of a risky option, I think, to go for the two Pershings when he really needs some infantry presence on the map, pretty sharpish, to reassert himself and hopefully get the defense back on his side. It seems like in going for this, he's committing essentially to the earlier push, trying to take out this headquarters, but it's not looking like he has the firepower yet to kind of make that push and get himself over the line. We'll have to see if he's able to take out this Tiger Race. Of course, things can change very quickly indeed, particularly with the help of the Calliope that's over here and getting healed up. He does have a good chance with the two Pershings to take him down. Is that a use of Propaganda War? Looks like Nystrom used Propaganda War on that Rifleman squad there. Interesting choice. I might have been saving up for a... Wow, do you remember when V1 rockets cost 350 munitions? What are we now? I don't remember that. What are we now? 160? 350 munitions. Of course, they were absolutely devastating if they hit anything, but they didn't hit all too often. Oh, a huge use of Allied War Machine here. He's going to push in, try and take out as much as he can before these two tanks, hopefully, I think for his sake, hopefully both go down. He may have to use his own Pershing to target this to make sure it gets it back on the field. Is that indeed what he's going for? He's attack grounding on something, but that Pershing's going to have to do it quickly because he's running out of time, I think, to get this Pershing back on the field. It's just sat there in front of the... Okay, he does manage to get that one Pershing coming back on the field. That was a bit of a hectic moment there. This Tiger deciding not to try and take out this Pershing. Still attacking ground on this patch here. Now the Allied War Machine comes to an end, and now the Pack Gun and Tiger Ace both immediately fire on the Pershing and take it out. Lovely bit of micro there by Nystrom. Nystrom's also got himself a nice little army side his base. Could come out any second, and the victory points are ticking down very quickly indeed. This is the thing with the triple cap. We saw that just a few moments ago, Golradaer was at around 200. But as soon as the triple cap comes into play, the victory points really fly down, and it can easily get out of hand quite quickly if you're not careful. I think Golradaer is now getting slightly desperate at this stage. So this Pershing trying to push out on its own against all of these units. There's plenty of support for the Tiger Ace. It's low health, but with those 4 Pioneer squads there and the Pack Gun helping out, I think there should be plenty of support to keep that Tiger Ace in the game, although he's deciding to move it forward so it isn't being properly repaired. And of course the Calliope firing on now might be able to take out all of these Pioneers at once. Indeed, the Pioneers are sneaking away, most of them. And the Tiger Ace indeed didn't even lose its main gun there, although it isn't in a situation to chase down and try and fight. I think it's going to have to retreat. That Pack Gun doing a wonderful job of zoning out the Pershing, which no doubt wanted to go in and apply the finishing blow, which is lacking that health, wasn't able to do so. I think now this is looking to be the situation where Golradaer is kind of running out of options. You know, he desperately needs the infantry on the field so he can take out the victory points and get some map control back. But at the same time, he has so little on the field, so little kind of hard units to zone out this Tiger Ace, which, yet for the short term is going to be off the field, but he needs an answer to that long term. So he kind of needs both at once. He's gone for a Pershing again. So it looks like he's trying to use the very limited amount of infantry he has to get the victory points under control and kind of stop the drain, stop the count, so to speak. Meanwhile, using Pershing, these Pershing call-ins as the kind of hard units to keep that Tiger Ace off his back and survive that way. It's a bold strategy. You have to see how it works out for him when he's so low on other units. That with just these 2 infantry squads here could easily push off this rifleman, which in fact is forced away by the propaganda war once more. Now then, that I think has put Golradaer into a very awkward position, because he's in a situation where there's so much. Oh, another Pershing goes down. There's so much munitions available on the map in the form of these wrecks that I think you can basically use propaganda war indefinitely at this point if he gets his Pioneers on that. Another Pershing gets himself into an awkward position between 2 Pack Guns and a Tiger Ace. Oh, wow, it does do well to take out that Pack Gun. But I think that Pershing now is long from this world, and we may well see in the coming seconds as the victory points tick down below 20 that he is no longer going to be able to keep this under control. He's now calliopeing his own forces there, making sure that they don't get the victory point under control. On the left-hand side, I think Nystrom will very shortly have propaganda war again. He's just 4 missions away. Should be able to pop that before the decap. Choosing not to. I assume that was a choice, and he's going to try and chase it away deliberately instead. Equally, he could also use this Pioneer squad to decap on the right, which will be just as effective. He has now used propaganda war, and we'll get the recap off. And I think the game is now coming to an end. Golradaer there, curious about how low the HQ was. I mean, he may well be regretting in the post-game I think he might be regretting focusing on the HQ rather than playing the long game. Certainly, I think he could have taken that, taken the game long if he could. Perhaps I should have rushed it with my Pershings. Yeah, perhaps you should, or perhaps you should not have tried to go for the annihilation victory. Instead, use the VPs and use your superior forces to win in the long term. But then what do I know? Anyway, thank you very much for watching this. Probably the final episode of Company of Heroes History. We'll see if I find a little bit more time, perhaps over the winter. I might revisit this and get a couple more games uploaded for you. Particularly, it's a shame that I won't I haven't had the chance to show you the 1.7 Pio spam or any of Opposing Fronts, which, mixed reviews as it got from critics and players alike. Certainly had some interesting matches in it. If I don't have the chance to make any more of these episodes, thank you for tuning in to the ones that I've made so far, and I hope you've enjoyed as much as I have kind of revisiting this short but sweet era of gaming history. I think it's been a joy for me to go back and revisit it and get some nostalgia, and I hope you've been able to indulge that nostalgia too. Thanks very much for being here and being part of this, and I might see you again next